Oftentimes in these holocrons, we analyze more active threats to the galaxy, such as the powerful weapons and abilities of the Sith. But recently, we have decided to take a deep look into one of the leading underlying threats in the Star Wars universe: death sticks, a powerful narcotic that seems to be just as prevalent as a cup of blue milk in certain areas of Coruscant and the Outer Rim. In that data file, we made it clear that death sticks were only a part of the massive drug trade in the galaxy though, and while there are many different types of illicit substances, there is only one true rival to the death sticks, one worse even: spice. One of the most recognized words in the entire galaxy, something we've heard of since A New Hope when C-3PO dreaded that he and R2 may end up in the spice mines of Kessel. This specific drug seems to appear everywhere, but what exactly is spice? Why is it in such high demand? And how did it allow the Pike Syndicate to become almost as strong as the Hutt Cartel? Well, today, my friends, let's dive into just about everything that you need to know about spice. Make no mistake, the spice we speak of is not what one uses to season their food, although many have chosen to do that with this substance. In fact, spice is one of the most powerful narcotics in the galaxy, and one that is the most addictive. While it doesn't exactly have the same life-threatening properties of death sticks, it is extremely dangerous because of how difficult it is to control. You see, spice wasn't originally just a drug, but it was a medicine. Raw spice is typically a powdery mineral mined from specific worlds, most notably Kessel. This planet lies in the deep core, in a place called the Maw. The Maw is surrounded by a series of black holes. The only known way in or out is a highly monitored hyperlane known as the Kessel Run. On this planet, raw spice can be processed into strong medicines such as siren spice. On one occasion, this variant came as a big help to the rebellion when they were running low on hospital supplies. Another form of weak spice was mined on Ryloth and is known as the Ryle. Low processed spice is not as addictive and actually is very healthy for patients to take in regular doses. It was for this reason that the spice trade was incredibly difficult to control by the Republic and the Empire. They couldn't exactly limit the medical spice market, which allowed spice runners to reprocess their product into the more dangerous narcotic that we know today. This was in such a case as the spice variant known as Andrus, also known as white spice. It was commonly added to food, both for its properties of enhancing flavor and preventing spoilage, the latter of which made it extremely valuable on extremely slow starships, especially in the days of galactic travel. However, it was discovered that when one added a significant amount of electrical charge to the raw substance of spice, it could be refined several times over to have a mental enhancement property, and then it could be more powerful as a mental stimulant. Freezing this refined version further enhanced these properties, making it incredibly easy to just make homemade drugs in one starship from what was essentially food flavoring. As you can see, this made it very tricky to regulate in the galaxy. The effects of spice vary between types, but at the very basic level, spice provides a user with a state of ecstasy, where hardly anything can be taken seriously. This is supplemented by extreme focus, mental clarity, as well as an increased reaction time, which is the main reason why most begin to use spice. A variant known as the Neutron Pixie gives the users perceived feelings of strength and endurance, as well as a resistance to pain. It's easy to see why so many pilots and soldiers started using spice regularly, as they feel sharp and powerful when taking it. However, this is the trap, as when one comes off of spice, they immediately hit withdrawal symptoms. These include mental confusion, physical weakness, aching bones and joints, and especially nausea. The obvious resolution here is that most will continue to take spice in order to stave off these symptoms and extend the enhanced feelings that they get. But of course, that same hit of spice from before is only going to get one back to normal, so either one does more spice if they want to get the same rush as before, or a stronger variant is now required, thus beginning the downward spiral of spice addiction. We mentioned before that there were many different variants of spice. Originally, we wanted to go through all of them, as there are at least 78 different types of spice. So instead, we're going to talk about the ones we found to be the most interesting, starting with the rarest variant. The rarest one in the galaxy is Lumni spice, which can only be found on the icy worlds of Hoth and others like it. Instead of being a powdery mineral, it was actually harvested from a strange fungal growth known as the Lumni lichen. It was very difficult to get because it was often protected by beasts known as dragon slugs, who frequently fed on this version of spice. Han Solo had actually found some of this version of spice on Hoth, but was unable to retrieve it due to a dragon slug, though he definitely risked his life when trying, a smuggler at heart. But although this variant of spice is the rarest, it is not the most interesting. That award goes to the glitter stem, found only on Kessel. Glitter stem isn't actually mined either, but harvested from a species of spiders that live within caves. It was produced from their webs, likely because the spiders absorbed the nutrients of raw spice on Kessel. Harvesters of the glitter stem had the most dangerous job of any spice miner, as not only did they run the risk of having their life sucked out by them in seconds by these spiders, but the actual spice webbing of the spiders were razor sharp and could easily slice through fingers if not handled extremely delicately. However, glitter stem was very sensitive to light, as that is how it was activated, so it had to be mined in complete darkness or it would be ruined. After it was mined, it had to be packed neatly into a special form of paper in a room of dim red light in order to prevent accidental activation. Glitter stem was over 4 times more potent and addictive than regular spice, as even casual use would often lead into full-blown addiction. But there was definitely a reason to use it. The properties of glitter stem included a brief and a pleasurable telepathic boost to one's mind. However, when combined with Rill, it became a substance known as glitter Rill, which had the ability to wipe a user's memories out entirely. It also had the adverse effect of causing spice spiders to grow to enormous sizes. The idea of a spice being used to enhance one's physicality continues to be one of the main reasons that most people use it. Some varieties were specifically engineered to provide more positive effects, such as the version known as Gunjack, which was a spice cocktail mixed with other chemicals in order to provide a user with beyond superhuman strength. However, it had the drawback of reducing their fine motor control and ability to reason. On the other side, there was Booster Blue, which increased mental awareness and reaction time. It was often used by pilots, but some who have taken this spice have been known to dodge blaster bolts before. However, the side effects were pretty extreme, and unfortunately, they are undocumented. Yet, the one variant we found to be especially interesting is known as the Red Rage, a spice used by Sith warriors during the time of the Great Hyperspace War. Red Rage actually had the ability to temporarily increase the Sith's power and connection to the dark side, but the cost was equally devastating. As payment for the new strength, Red Rage demanded the user's eyesight. So during Naga Sadow's invasion, apparently many Sith were running around exchanging blindness for power. However, this wouldn't be the end of the Sith involvement with the spice trade. During the Great Galactic War, the Sith Empire processed and enhanced spice into a substance known as Demalium-6, which they used as a bioweapon due to its effects on mood as well as memory. While spice itself is a dangerous drug, the real horror surrounds its production. Besides what we told you about the life-draining spice spiders and the razor webs, miners faced all sorts of life-threatening dangers while on the job, such as gas poisoning, sudden mine implosions, accidental spice ingestion, and grueling work hours that put them on the brink of death. But what sets this apart as a truly dark place in the galaxy is that most of the miners on Kessel were slaves and prisoners. When the Pikes were in control, Wookiee slave labor was intense on Kessel, resulting in many deaths. In the days of the Empire, the Imperial prisons would often randomly sort criminals to be sent to the spice mines, as they used the substance for both medicine as well as interrogation purposes. All in all, spice was a horrendous part of the galaxy's underworld ecosystem. It could be found more prevalently than death sticks, but unlike death sticks, it could cause harm to both the user and those around them. It was a highly valuable commodity, earning the Pikes scores of credits every day, millions of credits in a billion-dollar industry. The Hutt cartel wanted it, the Black Sun used it, and even the Empire wanted spice. Bounty hunters would kill for it, smugglers went on suicide missions for it, and it remains one of the biggest threats to galactic safety even in times of peace. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this in-depth look at Star Wars spice? Did you know the effects of spice before this video? And did you know how many versions there were? Let us know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. And if you'd like more deeper, darker dives into the Star Wars mythos, reach out and force crush that like and subscribe button. It is your destiny.